Hello, everyone. This is Tyler Erzberger of ESPN Esports, and today I am here with South Korea's greatest imports.
Here before the tariffs, you know.
Okay.
That's very important.
we got in just in time. That's right.
We're here with MonteCristo and Doa, and we're here to talk about the semifinals of the Overwatch League coming up. New York XL, all 4 stage finals they competed in. They will be playing against the Philadelphia Fusion. Who you got?
New York.
New York.
I mean, it's New York Excelsior, and then yeah, they didn't have the greatest stage 4 by New York Excelsior standards, but they're still a really dominant team, and I think there's no doubt in my mind that they were kind of resting their players a little bit in stage 4. They were taking it easy, and we are going to see like New York go Super Saiyan 2, you know, in the finals. Semifinals first.
I really think it just depends on how much the resting the players hurt them. Like we know that their players were not practicing as heavily. Now, is that going to come into effect in a very different meta right now? I'm sure they've been practicing hard for the last few weeks. They get an extra week of practice before they have to show their hand. And on paper, you'd think, well, you've got Sabiel B and Pine, who are great Widowmaker players. You've got, you know, one of the original Hanzo players over in Libero. So in theory, they should be very good at this meta. Jonak is able to flex to the Roadhog, and you've seen him already flex to the Tracer. So in theory, they have all the pieces to make this work. The question is, has that minor break from practice or lessening of practice hurt them in the long run?
So, looking at the other series, a lot of the players are thinking that the Valiant are the favorites to actually win the entire Overwatch League. Boston and the LA Gladiators both said the Valiant should just roll by London and get to the final, and then win the final, even over Philadelphia or New York. How do you see the next series going between the Valiant?
Did they say that before they saw London beat the Gladiators, or after?
The Gladiators, after losing to London, all said that the Valiant will win the Overwatch League.
Wait, are you telling me that an LA team is supporting another LA team over the England team?
But they're
Really?
rivals. The battle for LA. They have a long and deep history of hatred.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing.
So how do you break down the Valiant and Spitfire matchup?
Well, I think it really depends on what Spitfire team shows up, right? I mean, we saw what this London Spitfire can be finally, again, after 3 seasons of not seeing that London Spitfire. They showed up on Saturday and played amazingly. But, you know, will we see that same team this weekend? Who knows? I hope we do, because that would make a great match against the Valiant, because those guys are awesome too. But I think it really does depend on the Spitfire team that shows up. Saturday, Spitfire could beat the Valiant. Spitfire from stages 2 through 4, no chance.
Yeah, I think the Valiant too, I think one of the things that we as casters haven't done a good job of is really recognize the importance of the changes the Valiant made halfway through the season. Bringing Custa on, retooling a lot of their roster, moving some of their players into coaching roles. Also, you know, Coach Moon entering with the team, who's been just such an enormous part of their transformation. And I think we didn't really pay attention to it because a lot of the improvement was just so small and incremental, just like little steps week by week by week. But now we're in a place where they definitely are a contender for the title at this point in time. And you know, having spoken to the players myself, I do think the players may be overrating them just a little bit. But there's no doubt that the Valiant, I think, in this meta can, I think, contest with the NYXL because they've gotten so good at knowing the exact right reactions to things, swapping their compositions up. They should, as long as Soon can continue his performance on Widowmaker, Agilities can come out on the Hanzo. I think they have the right tools in order to do it. And I think their tank line, at this point in time, they have the best tank line in the Overwatch League with Fate and Space. So,
to all the viewers watching this weekend, who's the one player for both of you who do you think that the fans should be watching? Who's going to have the make it or break it week? Who could be the game changer for the semifinals? In a good and bad way. It could be they can lose it for their team, or who do you think can win it for their team?
I think Space, honestly. Again, I think it's an underrated player. We've talked about in the past how Space might be the best American player right now overall, and I think that's becoming less debatable as time goes on. And just watching Space as one of the top flex tanks in the league can be very interesting. And if he has good performances and the Valiant managed to win, he's definitely like a playoff MVP contender, I think. So.
I think for me it's got to be Bird Ring. I mean, because it's Birdring has been so up and down. I mean, we saw him bench for a long time, but then, you know, again, back in Korea when we did Apex, we saw what Birdring could do. We saw that in Stage 1 as well, and we finally saw it again on Saturday and sort of towards the end of Stage 4 too. So I think Birdring, at his best, has like almost no equal, right? So he really is a make or break player for that team. They need him to go off.
Well, I know who I'm going to be watching this weekend. You two.
We're not going to play. Sorry.
Well, I'm sure you can do pretty well. I mean, America might need some help.
World's best Zenyatta, obviously. You know, Jonek aside.
Well, thank you guys, the greatest imports of South Korea. And if you want more news about South Korea, America, Europe, all the esports news, check us out at espn.com/esports.